So this is our program. Okay, what our learning objectives are. What we're trying to do is to get an understanding of the different types of businesses and ownership structures and who the stakeholders are. Whose stakeholders is an interesting term. If you think about it, a stakeholder is somebody who has an interest in the organization. They have an interest in seeing it succeed, in the outcomes, in how it operates, in what it does. So stakeholders, certainly shareholders are stakeholders. They certainly have an interest, but so do staff, so do management, so do customers, so do competitors, it doesn't have to be a positive interest, by the way, that's why I say competitors. So do, although competitors can have a positive interest in your business doing well as well. We'll talk about that a bit later on. Suppliers, government, tax collectors, the community. So there's a whole range of potential stakeholders. It's not the same for every business, but it's this idea that there are people and organizations for whom the progress of the organization is important. So one of the things we have to do is we have to talk about stakeholders. So when we talk about different types of businesses and their ownership and the stakeholders, you're going to have to be able to describe two types of businesses and their ownership structures. So we're going to talk about sole traders, partnerships, companies, which are limited companies, and public limited companies as primarily what we're going to talk about. We also want to understand how businesses are organized. Well, it's fairly easy with the small business, but if it's a bigger company like Levi's or like Apple Computers or Nissan Motor Cars, how is the business organized? Well, we want to explore that, identify the differences between different types of businesses. We want to understand the businesses achieve their target purpose, so in terms of how they set objectives and how they link to its core purpose. And we want to look at the outside environment, the legal, political, social, economic, environmental, technological, political environments that surround every business. So that's what we're about. So this module, and we looked at this street yesterday, what we're here to learn is to understand the business, identify and understand a or the business sector that we're looking at. We want to be able to identify and describe the businesses in the sector or the market. So if we talk about local restaurants or local human services or the medical tech industry or educational services, clothing manufacturers, we can talk about different industries, different marketplaces, and we want to try and explore that, identify and describe the businesses in them. We want to be able to explain how these businesses are structured, how they work. Now, I don't mean down to the granular level, but we should be able to talk about what type of organization they are, how they're structured, how they work with any owner, etc. And we want to identify the big issues that may impact them. So what's going on outside the business that could have an impact on the business. Those are the types of things that we want to think about. So yesterday, we talked briefly about these four businesses which you would see in any city, like a little local print shop, a little convenience store, courier company, and a restaurant. Perfectly normal, average, everyday businesses, and we have them in every city. And there's lots of others. So if we were to look at any business, we should be able to do a little bit of work and describe that business. It might mean that you might want to ask a question on the business. How are you structured? You can always tell them you're doing a school project. You've chosen their business. Are they a company? You might get it from their website. Are they a company? Are they a private business? Are they a sole trader? Do they have one outlet? Have they got 7 outlets, etc.? What business are they in? And do a bit of analysis around it. So this module and this exercise of researching a business, I think this is a really useful skill which will help you throughout these modules, but also beyond into your career in the future. It's a little bit of detective work. You're sort of analyzing and researching and preparing a short report on a topic, on an organization, on an individual. So it's a useful exercise to be doing. And I want to show you a short video because
to create a better everyday life for the many people. That's the IKEA vision. But what exactly do we mean by this? How can a home furnishing business help create a better everyday? Well, it all begins right here. We are passionate about life at home. It inspires us in everything we do. So, to learn what people really need and dream about, we go out and visit homes all over the world. We talk with people, we measure things, we open closets and look in cabinets. We focus on the many people, especially those with thin wallets, because we believe good home furnishing is for everybody. All of these conversations give us valuable insights that we use as the starting point for developing our products and home furnishing solutions. We put our heads together and work hard to come up with affordable ideas to make everyday life at home a little better by creating home furnishings that combine good quality, form, function, and sustainability with the lowest possible price. We call this unusual combination democratic design, and it's what we believe makes our products unique. This all sounds good, but how is it even possible? Well, the short answer is, we're never satisfied. We're constantly looking for new and better ways to do things. We turn problems upside down, invent new techniques, try new materials, and continuously refine our production and distribution. To us, true innovation happens when we can connect knowledge about life at home with our experience and discoveries throughout the entire value chain. We form long-term partnerships with suppliers and together design our products, often on the factory floor, always striving to do things in a better way, using resources carefully and sustainably, with higher quality at a lower cost. This helps us achieve the low prices that make it possible for many more people to buy our products. And because we work with high volumes, we can lower costs even more. And that lets us lower prices all over again. We are also continuously looking for better ideas for transport and logistics. We send as many containers as possible directly from factories to stores, package products in flat packs whenever we can, and redesign packaging and pallets to make sure that not a single bit of space is wasted and that we use as little fuel as possible. All of this finally leads us back home, where we meet our customers every day to offer ideas and hopefully inspire people to make a change. We love to share our passion for life at home, and the idea that with little means, we can all enjoy big improvements. Our relationship with our customers is a partnership. Together we save money. But let's back up for a moment. Producing, distributing, and selling high volumes requires resources, factories, and energy, and involves many people along the way, doesn't it? How do we make sure that this process is sustainable and adds to a better everyday life? Well, since we drive the entire process from forests and fields to factories and stores and into people's homes, we can influence every step along the way. We are working towards having an overall positive impact on both people and the planet, and have made a commitment to use resources responsibly and produce more renewable energy than we consume, continuously improve working conditions, and help to create a better everyday life for people and communities touched by our business. And because we believe that living sustainably shouldn't be a luxury that only a few can afford, we want to inspire the millions of people who visit us with affordable products and solutions that enable a more sustainable life at home. Sustainable growth is also about making long-term investments. The IKEA Group is owned by a foundation and is therefore not listed on the stock market and doesn't depend on investors. This lets us think and invest in the long term. Our principle is to earn money before we spend it. In fact, our profits can only be reinvested, used for charitable purposes through the IKEA Foundation, or saved for a rainy day. Never being satisfied. It's about continually making big and small improvements and building IKEA together for today and into the future. At IKEA, we are individuals from all over the world, united by a shared vision and values that we believe are more relevant today than ever before. Ideas like being careful with money and resources and doing more with less are not only shared by us, but by people everywhere. And that's why we will keep working hard together, learning and improving every day, making mistakes and trying again. We want our business to continue to grow because we want to reach even more people around the world and help make everyday life a little better.
What I like about that video, it sort of puts the whole thing into context, doesn't it? Sort of shares everything, what they're trying to do, how they do it, who they're doing it for, why they're doing it. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is an IKEA video, so of course it's going to make them look good. I'm not saying IKEA doesn't have problems, because all organizations do. But it's a really good exercise just to look at that and see. And if they buy into the ethos of that video, then yeah, you can see that could be actually quite a good progressive company. And there's no doubt that this is working. If we just pull this chart down, okay, and look at that, this is IKEA's revenue from 2001 to 2018. And you can see there's a sizable growth in revenue from 10 billion up to 38.8 billion. Okay, and that hasn't stopped growing over the last 5 years. So it's been phenomenally successful. In fact, I'm not sure that IKEA doesn't have a natural competitor. I don't think it does. It has competitors in different markets and different segments, certainly, but it doesn't have one comprehensive, complete competitor that I can see.